Welcome back to the Cannell Video Query. I'm your host, Chelsea Cannell, and we actually get a lot of emails here at Cannell.com from writers who are looking to get some advice on how to get an agent. Well, here's my dad with a few pointers of his own.
It is the most difficult sort of hurdle that all writers have to climb over, but it is a doable deal. I mean, there are, I think, 7,000 or 8,000 members of the WGA, Writers Guild of America. Every one of those at one time, including me, faced the problem of not having an agent and wondering how the hell I was going to get one. And you must be persistent. There is no one single way of doing it. I think one of the best ways to do it is to network, to hang with other writers, to be in writers' groups. The reason for that is that some percentage of your friends in your writers' group will end up getting agents. And when they get agents, if they're good friends of yours, you can say to them, you better give your agent my script or I'm going to come over and firebomb your house, or whatever your appropriate threat would be. You know, that's how I got my first agent. Judy Burns, who was my friend back when we were all in our 20s, actually got an agent ahead of me. And I said to her, Judy, you got to get your agent to read my script. And she was kind enough to do that. And her agent ended up representing me. And then I ended up being the first in my little group of writers to get put under contract at a studio, and I was the head writer on a show, Adam 12. So who was the first person I gave a freelance assignment to? Judy Burns. She had yet to get a network assignment, and so I reached out for her and repaid the favor. And that's what we do for each other as young writers and people who are trying to get started. Another good way to get an agent is to get a manager. Managers tend to be a little bit more open to signing new talent than agents. Agents tend to be more negative. They don't want to read your stuff. They don't want to be involved. But managers, I've found people often have managers that don't have agents. Why that is a good way to go is that as you start, your manager can start setting you up with appointments. And as you start to get appointments and there's some activity in your career, the manager can then go to an agent that maybe they share another client with, and the manager can say, hey, I've got somebody that I represent that you ought to take a look at. So the manager can maybe duke you into a good agent. The other way is just to make cold submissions. Another way is to go to some of these big writers' conferences, like the Northwest Writers Conference, and they're all over the country. What's great about that is that very often those conferences will hire or will actually bring agents, network executives, movie executives up to take pitches from the people at the conference, and you pay $25 or something like that. I don't know it's different at every festival, but you pay $25, and most of that money goes to the festival. But for that you get the opportunity to pitch to a real agent your ideas. What's good about that is that every time I've spoken at one of these writers' conferences, there have been half a dozen people that actually got agents as a result of the pitches that they did at these writers' conferences, because it does give you an opportunity to be in front of an agent. And if you do a good job and you pitch a good story, the agent might say, I really like that. Here's my card. Why don't you give me a call when you get, if you get into LA. So there are a lot of ways. Don't overlook the internet. The internet has become a great new marketing tool for writers. There are sites on there like Trigger Street, which is Kevin Spacey's site, and Trigger Street basically publishes the scripts of young writers, and they're reviewed by people on that site. And so a producer or can go on the site and take a look at the scripts that are there and see what the reviews of those scripts from professional reviewers that are part of the Trigger Street operation, what they've said. And they might say, this has gotten 5 stars from 4 reviewers. I'm going to download this script and read it over the weekend. Don't, contests, there are all kinds of Blue Light, all these contests. Enter them, put your scripts in, you never know.